How's it going, YouTube? This is another exciting game of Deaths of Athazar. I apologize for being away for so long. If some of you may have known, I am a general contractor here in the Middle East, and my job keeps me pretty busy, so I haven't been able to make as many videos in the past month. We had a big a contract to fulfill, and what I do, it basically took up a great deal of my time. So when I got home from work, I was just too tired to even think of YouTube. But I just wanted to apologize and let you know that I am still hustling to try to get this game to be the #1 card game in the Middle East. And now that the contract is winding down, before I go into another one, of course, I have a little bit more free time. But I have been able to still record some games. I just haven't been able to make videos out of them. So I think I'm going to get back into the role of continuing to create these card games for the video for YouTube. I'm also thinking about maybe making some more instructional videos or some decision-making videos where viewers will look at a couple of hands and they have to guess which is the best play to take next. So I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to work that out. But hopefully it will be something that I can do in the near future and something that you guys may like to see. I also have some pretty good news in the country of Bahrain, where it's just about 30 minutes from where I am in Saudi Arabia. I live on the east coast of Saudi Arabia in the city of Dammam. So going to the country of Bahrain is just maybe like a 30-minute ride across the bridge. This is where most of the Saudis go on the weekends because here in the Eastern Province, we don't have movie theaters. So if you want to go see a good movie, you have to get in your car and drive over to Bahrain. But Saudi Arabia is changing, like I said in previous videos. One of the things I like to try to do with these videos is try to give the world a little bit better view of the day-to-day life in Saudi Arabia. Many people have preconceived ideas about certain countries because what they see in the media. But, I've been here going on, I think this will be my 9th year, actually. And that's a pretty long time. But I haven't had any real problems in Saudi Arabia. So, one of the things that when you go to a foreign country, it is very important to get, very familiar with the locals. And if you get in, start to socialize with the locals a little bit, then your stay in any country would probably be 20 times better than what you really experience. I hate when I go to another country and basically everyone wants to just meet the same people that you left your country for. But I understand that because, people are, tribal pretty much, and they want to find people that look like them. But because it's very difficult for people to go to a new place. You don't know the country. You don't know the history of the country. You don't know the language. And you don't know like their families or anything. It's not like real close relation. You don't really build close relationships. So it's kind of hard for some people to stay very long. Most travelers, they just want to come to a place for a couple of weeks, experience the food, the music, and probably do a little sightseeing and then move on without really getting to know the local. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why I've been able to stay longer than most people here, because I've actually built a lot of relationships with the actual locals, and you know, my life has been pretty good. Uh, a shout out to my wife and son, who is uh, being supportive of the channel. My son is 4 now, and I'm trying to get him this game. Try to teach him this game even at 4, so he can help with his language skills. But enough about me. Let's just go on and start this game. This game is between Ayman, Owayidh, and Mohanad Sultan. These are 2 former contractors of mine, and they are both from Jeddah, and Jeddah is on the west side of Saudi Arabia. And I was with them on a job, and we just got to talking, and I told them I invented this card game, and I would love for them to learn how to play, because in Saudi Arabia, Balut is the card game of Saudi Arabia. Balut is just as, it's kind of like Balut is to Saudi Arabia what poker is to America. All right, Balut is a very traditional card game, but it is not a Saudi game. That's the thing. This Balut was adopted from the Saudis from a French game, from what I understand, because I've never heard of Balut until I came to Saudi Arabia. So when I was in Saudi Arabia and I started to, get involved with the locals and start to learn their culture, I said, maybe I should have been a card game specifically for Saudis, something that they could call their own. So, and this is this game, Deaths of Athazar. And I've been taking the game to a lot of Comic-Cons in the region. Comic-Con is starting to become a big thing in the Middle East. There are a lot of people in the Middle East who love comic books, superheroes, manga. They love board games. So there is a growing community of gamers here in the Middle East. All right. So, when I was sitting with Ayman and Mohanad, I was telling them, if you play this game, you're going to get addicted to the game. Right? It's better than Below. And they say, no, it's not better than nothing, blah, blah, blah. One of the things about being in the Middle East, one of the things you learn about the culture of the Middle East, people never believe what you tell them unless you actually prove it to them. So, and the one thing about people here that I've met in Saudi Arabia, they are willing to try anything new. They'll try it one time, and if they love it, they'll continue to play it forever. But if they hate it, they'll never look at it again. And the thing is, if they never look at it again, they will tell their friends, no, don't look at this because this is not good. One of the things I learned about in the Middle East is if one person says it's good, then everybody thinks it's good, right? But if they say it's wrong, then they just listen to their friends without even trying it, So that's one of the things I do. So I'm kind of very particular about who I get to play a lot of times. Because usually I would ask them a question and, like, for example, I would say, do you play cards? Do you play Balut? And if they say yes, maybe I play Balut, I love Balut, then I would introduce them to the game. If they say, no, I'm not a card player, blah, 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 I don't try to say, come on, try something new, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't do anything. I don't do anything like that unless I'm at the Comic-Con, because I'm trying to, sell something. But just every day, no, I don't ask people to play. Once they tell me no, because one thing about I've learned here in the Middle East that when people here say no the first time, it's kind of hard to convince them to do anything otherwise. All right, so this game is between Ayman and Mohanad, so I convinced these guys. Both of them love the game of Balut, so I told them, come try this game. And they said, okay, so let's get to it. Let's see how well they did. All right. So, as you guys know, the game starts off with each player getting 7 cards. And remember, the object of the game is to get rid of all your cards, to be the first player to get rid of all your cards in your hands, similar to the rule of Uno. But you're going to use certain cards to eliminate cards out of your hand or try to keep your opponent from winning the game. So looking at Mohanad's hand, he has a wise man, a magician, assassin, a brawler, a wise man, a sailor, and a warrior. And Ayman has a sailor, a archer, a brawler, assassin, a sorcerer, a renegade, and a sailor. This is both of Ayman's and Mohanad's first game. They've never played it before. So I told them, let me go ahead and record the first game because I guarantee you after this, I think these two guys are going to come together and play a little bit more games. But I wanted to get it on video, get their game on video because they were going back to Jeddah, and it'll probably be. I probably won't see them again. Usually on my job, once you see a guy on a contract, they go to other places, and you probably won't see them again. But I have this record as a reminder that I met these two great guys here in the Middle East. Someone asked me before, won't you just hook up with them on Facebook? But people here don't really use Facebook as much. Facebook is getting kind of old for these people here. They think it's kind of like passe. Everybody here in the Middle East is on Snapchat. So if you're not on Snapchat, there's pretty much no way you can communicate with people. Either Snapchat or I think many people still use Instagram, but not as much but not as more as Snapchat. Snapchat is the #1 app here in the Middle East, and I tried to get a Snapchat channel, but I'm kind of stuck on Instagram. Because it takes a while to kind of navigate or kind of migrate to a new app. But actually, Snapchat is not new, but it'll be new for me. All right. So because this is their first game, I explained the rules to them. It took about a minute to explain the rules, and since both of them are fluent in English, it was very easy for them to figure out how to use the cards. Sometimes, if the players speak very limited English, I would have to explain it to them in Arabic. So I do have an Arabic deck for non-English speakers, but mostly I use the English decks. Okay. But even with the English, I still had to guide both of these players on how to best play the game. All right. So as we go through the game, I was going back and forth helping both of them to decide which cards to play first, right? Or which cards to play during the game, because they were getting a little. I don't want to say confused, but they were trying to figure out what's the best move. So I was giving them some tips, and I asked them to go look at some of my tip videos on YouTube. All right, so this is their hand. So they did the first pass, and on the first pass, they passed a sailor and they passed 2 sailors. All right. One of their strategies was to always play the lowest card. And then on the first kill, Mohanad decides to kill his sailor, and Ayman also did the same as well. All right. And Mohanad actually has a pretty good hand. He has a magician and 2 wise men. So with that card, he is allowed to get rid of 3 cards. Right. Now, also, I want to remind you that even though this is a video and you can see their cards, the players don't actually see their cards when they're playing the game. You do not show your cards when you're playing this game. All right, so on the deal, you have a sailor and a brawler, and Ayman and Mohanad asked me at this point, what should they do? And again, I told them, I didn't want to, tell them exactly what to do because they can make their decisions for themselves. But the basic rule is to try to get rid of the weakest card, but not all the time. Right? I designed this game to make sure that it's not just a game of passing the lower cards. It's more about strategy than the actual number. All right, so they end up passing a brawler for a sailor, and on this round, Ayman goes first, and he went ahead and did the basic brawler kills sailor, and Mohanad responds using the magician killing the wise man. So at this point, they're still trying to learn the game. Uh, Mohanad loved the fact that the magician can kill off two cards. So when Mohanad showed that card to Ayman, he almost went across the table and smacked him on top of the head. Some of these guys get real kind of passionate when they play these card games. Uh, I remember watching a group of old Arab men playing Balut, and, and it was at a shisha place somewhere in Dammam, and they were playing cards, and something happened. I think the guy lost the game or something, or the guy did something, and the guy, the guy got up. One of the guys got up and literally smacked the guy on top of their head. But the thing about Arab culture is a smack on the head is not considered aggressive. Actually, actually, the guy was laughing. So this is how one of the ways they kind of relate to each other. They smack each other on the head. They pinch each other on the arm. But it's all love. In the Middle East. All right. So then, so on the deal phase, Ayman gets the prince and Mohanad gets the jinn. Now, when Mohanad got this jinn, he was like, okay, what is this card? What do I do with this? And I told him this is a card you can't pass. Because on the pass phase, he was about to pass. I said, no, you can't pass the jinn. You're gonna have to find some way to kill it. So he went ahead and passed the lowest card here. So he passed Sailor for Renegade. And on the play phase, Mohanad just went ahead and Ayman went first this time, so he went ahead and played the prince, and the prince forced the Mohanad to get an extra card from the deck. Mohanad wasn't really happy about that, but that's the game. Mohanad then went ahead and took his warrior and killed. And I asked him why he did that, and he said, well, he was going to kill the jinn with the assassin, but because the assassin could kill any number card, he wanted to get in a situation where he has more options of killing, whereas the warrior has very limited options on who they can kill. And then on the deal phase again, Ayman gets the brawler, Mohanad gets the assassin. And now Mohanad has a pair of assassins. Ayman has one assassin. And then they exchanged for the pass phase and then the play phase. Mohanad takes his renegade to kill off the sailor, leaving him with 2 assassins. And then Ayman responded with the sorcerer, forcing Mohanad to take a brawler from out of his hand. And at this point, Mohanad looked at his assassin and said, hey, he's in a good place. There's no need to do anything. He has the best hand because assassin can kill any card. But he's going to see real soon how, even though assassin can kill any card out of your hand, it can be a dangerous card to have, right? Because the pass phase makes that difficult, and we're going to see how that works out. All right, then on the deal phase, Ayman gets the sailor, and now Mohanad gets another assassin. And now he has 3 assassins in one hand. And Mohanad was feeling pretty confident, pretty good about his hand with that. And looking at the screen here, without as a observer of both hands, Ayman having the brawler and the sailor, only one assassin and archer. I knew that Ayman was going to. Well, if things didn't change, I was going to come on up top. But Mohanad swore up and down that with his 5 assassins, he is pretty much going to dominate the game. You know, he was showing me his card, showing me his hands. Like, look, Bark, I'm about to bust him. I said, okay, let's see. So they went ahead and did the exchange, and Ayman passed off his assassin, and Mohanad passed him a brawler. I don't know why Ayman passed off the assassin. Maybe he, had his own reasons, but it forced Mohanad to have now 4 assassins. And at this point, Mohanad really thought he was unstoppable, infallible. Nobody can touch him. So Ayman plays his hand. He has the brawler kills off the sailor. And because Mohanad has no other choice other than just to pass, he just went ahead and have one assassin killed another assassin. And on the pass phase, Mohanad ends up getting another assassin, staying with 3 assassins. All right. And as soon as he got that card, he pretty much almost jumped out of his chair because he thought he was definitely going to win the game at this point. Ayman ends up getting the all-powerful princess card, which is the card that it's like a joker. It can be used any way as he any one of the characters that he likes in the game. All right, so on the pass phase, all right, Mohanad ends up having to pass an assassin, and on his play, he has his assassin kill the brawler, and now Ayman went ahead and used his princess as a sorcerer to hand off another assassin to Mohanad, leaving him with 1 card. Now here is where assassins can be dangerous when you get down to a couple of hands. All right? Because after the play phase, when they go ahead and do the deal phase, Ayman gets an assassin, Mohanad gets a djinn. Now, this is horrible. Now, to have 2 assassins and then a djinn is a horrible hand. Because if you see that your opponent has 2 cards left and you have to pass on the pass phase, you can't pass the djinn, so you must pass an assassin. So if you pass an assassin, that means that whatever card your opponent has is going to be killed off with the assassin. Because if your opponent has 2 cards, he has to pass one to you, leaving him with 1 card, and you have to pass him 1. And that 1 card that you pass him can kill that last card in your hand. So this is where Mohanad realized that he pretty much lost the game when he saw that Mohanad had 2 cards. And in a situation like this, let's just say that he didn't get the djinn. Let's say he got, I don't know, a sailor, all right? Then he was pretty much screwed. The only card that would probably help him win this game is if he got a hunter card. because with a hunter, the hunter allows you to pass 2 cards instead of 1. And since Ayman was to go first this round, no matter what card Mohanad passed him, he was done. So on the pass phase, Mohanad had to pass the assassin. And since Ayman was first to go, he was able to win the game. And Mohanad basically just threw the cards up in the air and pretty much cursed in Arabic and said, "Let's play again." All right. So after they played one time, I asked them, how do you like the game? They said, oh, very good. They thought it was very good. And they played a couple of more hands. And this time I joined them for a 3-player game. And we end up playing for the rest of the night. They loved it. And they promised me that they would go on the website and get a deck. And sure enough, they kept their word and they got a game. Because like I said, once a Saudi loves a card game, they will stand behind it 100%. So I was happy to take Ayman and Mohanad and make them addicts of this game, and hopefully you can become an addict too. All right. So that's my video. I'll try to get more videos of the other games that I have recorded. If you would like, just go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I will see you next time.